So I got Richard Chycki here on the phone, and you done work with Aerosmith, Rush, super big groups. What have you been doing these days in music?
Well, actually, I'm doing quite a bit more Rush. We've been doing a lot of music for Rock Band, a lot of music for Apple Computer. Rush has got a whole series of pieces that Alex is teaching some guitar pieces of how he played Limelight and some other of the classic Rush songs. And I'm also developing a band under my production company called Easy Sleazy. Really fantastic band. Watch out for them next year. We're just in the midst of recording drums. But Rush is sort of the core work I'm doing right now.
How long have you been with Rush?
I've been working with them since R30. The first DVD I worked with them on was R30, and that was released, I believe, in 2005. So I'm going on. It's coming up to 5 years.
You're a producer and engineer also?
Yes, yeah. With Rush, I do the most of the work I do with Rush is engineering and mixing. I do a lot of other work. I do production work. The majority of work I do is mixing.
And you're credited to be on the Just Push Play Aerosmith album from 2001.
Yeah, I recorded that record.
How was that in the day, recording Aerosmith?
Unbelievable. That the Just Push Play was actually that was the first record I did that had the song Jaded that scored #1 for 6 weeks at rock radio in America, and absolutely thrilling. Steven Tyler is by far one of the best singers I've ever worked with.
So basically 1 to 2 takes would be done, or would it take long time?
Absolutely. No,
really, that professional.
The funny thing is when Steven Tyler sings, everything he sings sounds, I guess, it sounds like an album. It sounds like a CD. It's just you go through his vocal and you pick sort of what matches the song best, what sort of mood you want to create best. But everything the guy sings is absolutely unbelievable. He's such a natural, controlled talent. It's unbelievable.
With Joe Perry, how did you guys set up the guitar tones on that album?
With Joe, I mean, we were using a lot of at that time. Joe was using the Gibson Gold Tone amps, and those are 212 combo, 30-watt combos, and we used the Gold Tones an awful lot, and we used most of the record we did was with combos. You know, a lot of it was combos, a lot of smaller amps, just close mic'd, and just added a lot of bottom ends so they sounded really big and fat.
For bands like that, is there like secret microphones you guys use, or just regular standard SM57 and stuff like that?
A lot of the stuff, a lot of the mics that we use. I mean, I've got a selection of mics that I use for recording guitars. I do use an SM57, but I also blend it a lot with a couple other mics, like a Royer. There's a microphone called a Royer 121, Neumann FET 47, Sennheiser 409, a bunch of different microphones. Really depends on the player and the type of vibe that we're going for,
Compare an old microphone to a brand new one. Isn't there a lot of producers that like to use old microphone technology?
I have a Telefunken U47 tube microphone from 1953, and it sounds absolutely stunning. So I think microphones were. I mean, there's a lot of great mics. Like the Royers are new mics, and they're built fantastic. But a lot of the older microphones, there's a lot more steel. The build quality was, I think, a lot more solid back in the day.
What do you think happened to Shure that it can't manufacture the same thing now?
I don't know. I don't use a lot of Shure mics. I use the SM57 quite a bit. I tried a couple of their kick drum mics and stuff, but a lot of the mics I'm using are either Sennheisers or Neumanns or AKGs or Sonys. The variety of mics like that.
With Rush, when you recorded them with the guitars and stuff, is it like mostly the same types of combo amps or Marshalls?
We used so Alex, we have a completely different set of amps. We used a lot of a combination of older amps and newer amps, anything from a lot of Marshall 412s, and anything from Rivera amps to Orange to, of course, Al's a big fan of his line of Hughes and Kettner amps, so we use that. We use a Vox AC30. Jack, of course, we used an awful lot of amps on that record.
Do you introduce a lot of new amps to these guys, or is it them that just bring in their stock and work with that?
You know what? It's both. On occasion, I'll have some equipment that I'll have for the guys to check out, and especially when they go on tour, they come back with some pretty neat toys that they find as they're traveling around the world. So it's kind of a mutual exchange.
Was your association with Def Leppard?
I did a few songs on their 10th CD called X. I had recorded, I think I did 4 songs on that album. That's quite a while ago. So I didn't mix it. I just recorded them.
But then you worked with Dream Theater also. What did you do on them?
Yeah, I've known James. James was in a band with me called Winter Rose in the late 80s and early 90s. That was a band he was in before he joined Dream Theater. So we still stay in touch, and I recorded and mixed his solo record, Elements of Persuasion, and we still stay in touch on occasion. If he's got some vocal work he's doing with Dream Theater, we actually live pretty close together. We live about 20 minutes apart, so he'll usually just drop down to my studio and blast in some vocals if he needs to, and it's good to reconnect with him.
The final one, Mick Jagger, was your work with him?
I did Mick's record. I recorded 6 songs for his album Goddess in the Doorway. Was
big
Mick's,
one,
yeah, big one. Last solo record, and I recorded 6 songs with him, and Marty Fredrickson was producing, and he's in the same realm as Steven Tyler. He's got that natural talent, and just turns it on. Has really, really amazing control, and has the ability just to turn it on and off like a switch. Really fantastic.
Let's say for Rush, which you concentrate more on, how long does it take them to record an album, and how long do you stick in the process of recording it?
I'm in, as far as Rush is concerned, I'm in from the very beginning when the band is in pre-production, prior to actually recording. I'm involved, and I go right to the end to the album being sent to mastering. I've heard for albums like Vapor Trails that they've spent sometimes 10 or 11 months making a record. We did Snakes and Arrows in about 9 weeks, I think, including mixing.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty fast, very fast.
And you're there like constantly 7 days a week, or?
Well, we were traveling. We did all of the recording for Snakes and Arrows at a very large residential studio up in the Catskill Mountains called Lair Studios, which unfortunately has since closed. But it was a residential studio, so we were there every day. We'd work 6 days a week and take Sundays off. But, we'd end up going back into the studio and doing a few things on Sunday. So, yeah, we pretty well work continuously until it's recorded.
So basically you're with Rush all the time then?
Yeah, pretty well. Well, Rush has been one of my full-time projects. Me and Alex Lifeson, I have all of my mixing equipment in Alex's studio. We work together. We have the studio, and I do the majority of Rush's work. I've done all of their work for Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and I've done their last few DVDs and all the remixes of Vapor Trails and all of the old masters, like the Vault edition of Working Man. So it's been pretty consistent with them, yeah.
What's the difference with mastering and engineering a CD?
Yeah, I personally don't master CDs. When I mix a CD, I prefer that a mastering engineer does as little as possible and just basically prepares the product for manufacturing. Because that's what mastering guys used to do, and recently mastering guys have kind of taken on their own thing to make it as loud as possible and to re-EQ all of the masters And I kind of go old school. I kind of think they should just, get them ready for manufacturing, And I've got a great guy that I use in New York a lot named Andy Van Dett over at Masterdisc, and he's absolutely fantastic. And he'll leave a mix alone if he thinks it's fine. He's going to leave the mix alone, and that's what I absolutely love about him. So he's really got great ears and good judgment. Hey, thanks a lot, Jason. Thanks a lot for your time, huh? Thanks, man. All the best. We'll talk soon.